Figure 2, the admixture graph from the Yemen study. The admixture graph from the study provides a nuanced look at the genetic diversity of populations within Yemen and their connections to broader regional ancestries. This graph visualizes the genetic diversity of individuals from populations within 3,000 kilometers of Yemen. Each colored segment in the bars represents the proportion of genetic ancestry attributed to a specific ancestral population. With K equals 5, we identify 5 major genetic components reflecting the region's history and migration patterns. The Hadramaut and Hadida districts show the greatest genetic mixture, highlighting their historical role as crossroads for trade and migration. So to further understand the admixture graphs, we have to understand the components of the graph. The populations, which is the clusters, is represented by colored bars or segments in the graph. The proportions is the length of each colored segment, and an individual bar reflects the proportion of genetic ancestry assigned to a particular cluster or population. K values. The K to the left represents the number of ancestral populations assumed in the analysis. Each individual is divided into proportions based on the inferred ancestry groups. Now, what does the K equals 2 through K equals 5? What does that mean? You may be asking yourself. K equals 2 is the population is split into 2 ancestral groups. This is often the first level of detectable genetic differentiation. For example, one group might represent populations with more sub-Saharan African ancestry, while another group might represent populations with Levantine or Arabian ancestry. The admixture graph shows 2 colors, and individuals might begin to show proportions of these 2 groups. K equals 3 adds a third ancestral population to the model. Typically captures more subtle differences, such as a third influence from East Africa, South Asia, or an isolated Arabian population. Populations like Hadramaut or Hadada with diverse histories may begin to show more complex admixture patterns. K equals 4. K equals 4 introduces a fourth ancestral population. This could represent further regional differentiation within Yemen or neighboring areas, such as distinct Arabian Peninsula populations and an Indian Ocean trade component. Coastal populations might show higher proportions of new components due to maritime trade influences. K equals 5. The model identifies 5 distinct ancestral populations with the lowest cross-validation error. That's critical. These 5 groups provide the most accurate balance between complexity and explanatory power for the data set. For this study, a clear distinction emerges between Southwest Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, East Africa, and other influences. The study emphasizes K equals 5 because it captures the major genetic influences without unnecessary complexity. Population ordering. Populations are often ordered geographically or according to specific criteria, e.g., Yemen governates in your graph. Regional groups, similar ancestries or genetic diversity within regions can be identified by common patterns or mixtures in the graph. Interpreting the example, governates grouped into districts. Aden includes Abian, Dali, Lahid, Azal, Amran, Dhamar, Sada, Sana, Shiba, Baida, Jawif, Marib, Hadramat, Shabwa, Hadada, Haja, Hadada, Mawit, Halajanad, Abe, Taiz. The key observations are noted with the strongest diversity in Hadramat and Hadada, suggesting these regions may have experienced extensive genetic mixing. Validation and error. The lowest validation error occurs at k equals 5, indicating the most accurate depiction of genetic diversity for this analysis. The color patterns. Each color corresponds to a genetic component. If an individual shows multiple colors, it means their genetic makeup derives from multiple ancestral populations.